Warning again. Periscope is never happy. That's all I gotta say. Periscope is never happy. It's connecting to YouTube now. Alright. Let's see if that fixed anything. I never know. YouTube is always unhappy. And nothing is streaming on my YouTube account right now. It says online, but I'm not seeing anything. I am not seeing anything. What is going on? It says live now. Let me see. I'm trying multi-streaming, but it's being a bit of a butt. Let me see how this is going. This is so weird. So this is, I'm like checking a couple things. I think probably my frames per second isn't as good as I would like. So let me play around a bit and see what's going on. Yeah, I need to do better frames per second. Yeah. But it's better than it was. So I'm getting better. Centered needs to be more center. All right. I'm trying to set up various things because Periscope has been so buggy. And you can hear, I need better headphones because you can hear, and I'm hearing the feedback, so I have to turn off the sound. Okay. And I like restream because it seems I can do Periscope at the same time as YouTube, so that's time efficient. This isn't as bad. Okay, I might want to up the frames per second, but I think once it gets going, it's not a big issue. Okay. So that's all right. I think this is going to work for the most part. Let me try one more. Let me try one more thing. And I need to figure out how to do a title for this. How do I do a title? Okay. I need to figure out how to do a title on this thing. So it doesn't show untitled broadcast multi-streaming with our, restream.io. So that's just, I don't really care for that. But I'm playing around with it, and now it's dropped to 13 frames per second and 19. So let me up the frames per second and see how that goes. But this is better than it has been with YouTube, if I'm honest. And worst comes to worst, I can still record really good quality and then upload a better quality video after I stream. But this allows interaction with individuals to kind of allow them to ask me questions and stuff. It'll be kind of interesting, see how I'm going to do that on Periscope. I guess I'll have the Periscope app on my phone. Let me see if this is showing up there. I don't, I only have so many computers at the same time running, you know, so I don't know how many times I've popped up. Okay, so yeah, it's popping up on that. So if you're on Periscope, this is just a test stream because I'm trying to be more efficient, and I have people that do YouTube but not Periscope, and do Periscope but not YouTube. And so this kind of kills two birds with one stone. So I've got the Periscope app on my phone, and then on YouTube I can look at comments there. And so it looks like it's okay for the most part on Periscope. And it looks like it's okay on YouTube between the two. So YouTube is not better than Periscope for you unless stuttering drops. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. But the good news is even if it gets buggy and strange, I can record on my end to where it's not all buggy and weird, and then upload it to YouTube after the fact. In the event that it cuts out, I can keep going and finish my talk and then put it on YouTube on my channel as a completed stream if it's weird. So YouTube is not better than Periscope. Okay. So, and then I can interact. I could type something as myself on my own stream, but I think that's weird because I can just answer it directly here. All right, so 20 frames per second isn't so bad. I'm getting decent quality, but it seems to be stuttering a little bit on YouTube. And we've got the forever screen going on, which is fun. It's like the mirror of the forever screen. But that works. So let me see what I got. So I'm going to switch to just solo in the center and see how that affects, and see if I get choppy and weird, you know, if I blow up my own image, and see what happens. So I don't know, but it looks like we got both, so that's good news. It's a Black Friday cheap and free miracle, and I didn't have to shove anybody to get this to work, so that's good. Yeah, it's still a little bit buggy on YouTube, but it seems to be okay on Periscope. Hello. So I'm trying this new thing. I'm trying to see how much of a delay I have. I seem to have more of a delay on Periscope than I do on YouTube, but the image on Periscope seems okay. It just seems to pause from time to time. So I don't know if I can fix that. So I don't know. It's pausing on here and it pauses on YouTube. Is that a big issue, do you think? Do you think that's a big issue if it's pausing between the two? I don't think it is, but at least this works, right? Let me pull up an old set of slides from my show and see what I can do. I'm going to pull up some slides from another show. I'm looking for it now, and I got it on here. You guys are just going to see all of my stuff just floating around. I thought I had PowerPoint slides on here somewhere. Where are they? Ugh. You know what? Let's just search. PPT. Here we go. I'll pull up cannabis. And it seems like I do have... What's my upload speed? I don't know how to check that. YouTube too, but that is fine. The audio matters most. You hate it most when someone is saying something really good and it gets chopped to death. I see. Yeah. And like I was saying before, the good news is I can actually stream in real time and at the same time record the overall broadcast and post it as its own video in the event. This pulled up on the big screen here. In the event that from beginning, let's see what happens. All right, so let me go. Yeah, but you know, oh God, I'm doing two things at once and I've lost my train of thought. All right, so okay, I'm gonna make myself a bit bigger here and go this away. I need to probably move this up a bit right there. Nope. See, you guys are getting some weird behind the scenes stuff, but the only way to test streaming is to actually do it, you know. But see, if I go back to that, I have to pull. What I really need is like a third monitor or something. Which is funny. Yes. Doing better than me in your shoes. All right. So if I click on this little bugger, and then we got that going on. That seems to work all right. And see, once I get this going, then I don't have to look at my streaming. And somebody asked what my rate was, my upload speed. Okay, so Periscope stutters badly for you to the point of freezing. It seems between the two, I'm using Restream and Boolean Nate, I can't say your name. He's on Twitter and he's also on YouTube, the Boolean Nate, or asked what the upload speed was. And he introduced me to Restream. So I'm kind of thankful for that because then that saves me time. Because I've had people say, I'm not on Periscope, I'm on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, so let me fix that. And then now I can scroll between my slides. There's my little slide on cellular receptors. Let me pull that up. Test streams can be fun too. Hello. So I'm going to try to share this, I think, on Twitter. I don't know. Periscope Melody Live. Let's see. I'm going to tweet that. So I can share that on Twitter. And then I should be able to share the frickin' one on YouTube. But I think I can, I'm wondering if I can set that up in advance. Is because I've got, I can copy and paste because I've got Twitter. I got TweetDeck. Hold on. There we go. That's easier because then I can pop over to TweetDeck and post this link onto it. Let me see. TweetDeck's going to cut into my bandwidth though. Probably. It's massive. It runs a lot of juice. And so then gosh, here we go. Yeah, TweetDeck's going to take forever to load. Let me see how this goes. I wish I could. The thing is, I have to share it from my Periscope app, but it allows me to talk to people there. So let me type in here. So in the initial stages, before I get like started into my talk, I can do test stream. All right. And then after it tweets, I can close it out and then go back, and then I can get started. And then I can take people's questions and stuff. And so the cellular receptor thing works. Let me move Periscope over here so I can see it and see everybody's. You're distracted by my figure collection. Ah, you want to take a look at some of my figures? I have a whole lot behind me. So let me pull some of them up here. Check it out. Got me some Ray. Now Ray could actually go ahead, and here's Chewbacca. You know, let's switch him around. There we go. Ray's like, I got you, Chewie. And Chewbacca's like, roar! I don't do Chewbacca sounds so well, so you guys will have to do that in your heads better than me. But yeah, so I've got like a cute little set of all kinds of awesome little connections going on here. Let me close out that over there. There's a title tab where you can set the titles before you start the stream. Okay. Let me see. In Restream, there's a title tab. I have to find that. I haven't started. Oh, I got dashboard and I got titles. Okay. I will play around with that a bit more. So, if you're on Periscope, I'm testing simultaneous broadcasts between YouTube and Periscope, and it seems to be going well. So, and I got my hair up, which is different from how I usually do my broadcast. So, I got a lot of stuff. Look, so here's also Captain America with his shield. He's pretty mighty. I have Iron Man and Thor. I need a Black Widow. This ain't right. This is part of Disney Infinity, by the way, and I think they're doing away with this. So if you want to get any figures, excuse me, you might want to hurry up and do it before they're gone. I also have, this is one of my favorite things. I'll just show you really quickly. A Tanner doll. Excuse me. So this is my Tanner doll. I saw Thor, yes. I saw that one. I completely avoided Justice League, though. I'm just going to wait. I'll go see Wonder Woman 2, though. But if this is one of my prized possessions. So this is my Tanner doll. It's a Wonder Woman Tanner doll. Actual leather boots. Lovely curls. Tendrils. So I love her. She's my girl. Actual metal, you know, real metal tiara, and her bullet resistant or bulletproof bracelets. So, but there you go. It looks like Periscope is a lot further behind than YouTube, so I don't know if that's pausing or something. So we've been going through a little bit of my figures. I also have a Nerf gun. This is fun. But I hate, you know, we shouldn't have the pump action on the top. It should be on the bottom. That doesn't feel right, you know. So, hello, if you're on Periscope. I shot this yesterday over there into the living room, and I need to find the, they did do good work on my Tanner doll. Yes, that's the correct spelling. So... But I do have that. I like my Nerf gun. It's pretty fun. And then I have an Enterprise. But you've probably seen this when I was on The Great Debate. I've talked on there a bit, and I play with my Enterprise then. So I do have various cool little fun things behind me. Oh, wait. Eric has fallen. Hello. So Eric has fallen, but here he is. Periscope is really behind. I'm noticing that it's at least almost a minute behind. It's just now getting to my Captain America stuff. That's weird. Is it really? It's just now getting to my Captain America thing. And then YouTube is a bit better. So I don't know I don't know how to fix the thing with Periscope. It's weird. But, you know, you guys should recognize this particular character from the X-Men series. Isn't he nice? He's pretty cool. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm just now at the Tonner doll portion on Periscope. So that's strange. I don't know why that is. So that's going to cause a little bit of problem and delay between the two. So I might have to, those of you on the YouTubers might actually have to tolerate a lot of the same questions you might be asking me that Periscope takes forever to pick up. So that's strange. So yeah, there's that. I also have books next to me. If you've not read this book, if you're a science communicator or a scientist or an educator, science, any kind of thing, or if you want to encourage critical thinking, this book is amazing. It's Carl Sagan's The Demon Haunted World, Science as a Candle in the Dark. So it's pretty awesome. It's only a few seconds here. Huh. It must be my app then. So, just a science fanboy. But I do like this book, and it's quite apt reading over there. You're just a science fanboy. That's okay. So I've got the test stream going. Let me see if I can switch between slides without it being weird. So here I did cannabis last week. So let's see how this goes between the cannabis and I'm trying to go back and redo some of my older streams when I was just on the phone. And I used to record on my iPhone. I would sit there and do my little shows in my casts. But since I'm no longer on my phone and I'm streaming from my laptop, somebody's like, you can stream from your laptop. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I started streaming from my laptop on Periscope. And then I found that, that was going better. And I was able to incorporate slides and GIF images and stuff like that. So that's pretty neat. And my hair looks completely different. I'm just noticing how incredibly different my hair looks when it's up as opposed to down. So, and now I can stream both at the same time. This is quite exciting for me. So it saves me a bit of time. And it allows me to interact on two different platforms with individuals to where we can interact a bit more, because I know a lot of people kind of prefer YouTube to Periscope. So that's pretty neat. So that works. Let me see how it goes with transitioning. And then, so I know that the slides work. Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay. So I can pull that up. All right. All right, so then let me see. Let's see how my intro video does. I'm going to pull up my intro video and see how that goes. Here we go. You guys ready for the intro video? I love this. Gonna Go For It has made me, he's making me a third now. And he's made me a short one for the shorter videos that I do that aren't necessarily live streaming and the interactive ones. These are like for my little short, like 3 to 5 minute videos, sometimes 8, talking about a particular topic, because I get asked a lot of the same questions, not all the time, but I do get asked a lot of the same questions, and so that allows me to kind of just say, I get asked about natural selection all the time, here's a video about it, peer review, here's a video about it. So that helps a bit with that. So let's see what the video looks like. So it seems to work okay. It's a bit choppy though. So the video is a little bit choppy. So I don't know how that's going to work. And it's gone dark because I didn't switch back in enough time. So that's not cool. Why is it still dark? Ugh. It should not still be dark. It should have gone back. There we are. And we're back. It seemed to be pausing a bit, yes. I need to check the speed. So, Booleanator. You had mentioned how do I check the upload speed. I'm not certain how to do that. If you could let me know, that might be helpful. Okay, so I will get the knack of this. See, even scientists have to learn stuff. We learn stuff all the time. So, okay. And I'm not certain if I go under settings that it's not going to let me change. General, looking. I'm trying to see how the upload speed output. Is it an output? Video output is currently active. Yeah. Yes. Alright. So I'm trying to sort that out still. Oh, thanks for the shout out. You're welcome. You are welcome. So I'm trying to figure out a few more things. I guess I can Google some of it. So it seems to be working for the most part. But on my Periscope app, it's exceptionally behind on my app. It may be fine on other people's apps, but on mine it's behind. So it'll make a little bit of interacting and engagement kind of difficult, I think. So, yes. So you got me in jammies mode with my hair up because I wasn't expecting for it to go live. I thought it was just a test stream that wouldn't necessarily go live. Excuse me, that I could check before I went live. So I've got like my Big Bird furry socks on, and I have my jammy pants on and my jammy shirt. Normally I'm much more professional than this when I do a live stream. So you guys are getting like, you know, down to the roots, kind of bare bone, nothing particularly fancy type of stream. So there's that. But hey, you know, for science. But I don't know. So I've got to kind of figure, I don't know what else to say. You know, I could sing a song, I guess, but I don't know if y'all want to hear that. Oh, look. Oh, speed test. Okay. I do, and see on my Periscope app, it's just getting to the intro, which is weird. This offline, you have similar taste in videos. You keep bumping into each other. So I got a book from a friend of mine while I was in London. I haven't started reading it, but it looks pretty cool. It's by Stuart Sutherland. It's called Irrationality. And Irrationality seems like it's pretty cool. New 21st Century Anniversary Edition with a new foreword by Ben Goldacre, author of Bad Science and Bad Pharma, and an afterword by James Ball, covering developments in our understanding of irrationality over the last 2 decades. So it's a pretty cool book from what I've seen, and I'm still reading Bad Science. So if you haven't read Bad Science by Ben Goldacre, it's pretty good. He talks a lot about the pseudoscience that I talk about in my videos and podcasts and on the internet, and how to spot it and what to do about it. So it's pretty cool in that regard. I suppose I probably need to up my ISP, increase the amount of download. I think that might be it. And I could do a speed test, I guess, on all of the different servers associated with Restream, so I could do that. OBS has a tutorial for setting up the encoder for YouTube. Here's my question. Periscope is screaming at me, saying that my settings are not effective for that, but YouTube says it's okay. So if I set up OBS for YouTube, is that going to continue to make Periscope scream at me? So, have I seen Miles Power's video? I haven't. I need to check out Miles Power videos and see how those are going. So another thing that I do is, because not everybody can see each other's questions, and it's kind of become a habit, especially when I'm posting videos on YouTube after I've streamed on Periscope, is I repeat what people say, essentially, or I read aloud the questions. So I know YouTubers can see each other's questions a bit easier, but you can't see the Periscope questions, and Periscope can't see the YouTubers' questions per se. So that, I don't know if that'll get old with you guys. So, but yeah, but this is cool. So this is working out. Black Friday. I'm not going anywhere with that. I'm like, screw Black Friday, man. I'm not doing it. So what else have I got? That is good practice to repeat the questions. Well, being an educator too, well, former high school educator and university, I was just used to repeating questions anyway, because students would ask me a question, and if I thought it was, I was just used to say, oh, okay, well, this is what they asked, and then I would answer. The honey badgers have an app that grabs chats from multi-chat source. Huh. There's settings that work for both, like with Twitch, I have to keep my rate below 6,000 FPS, and YouTube will do that. Okay. See, I have like at 20 frames per second, because if I do any more than that, usually 30, I'll do like 30 frames per second, but if I do like more than that, it's going to go nuts. Periscope doesn't work right, and then it's weird, so I don't know. Honey Badger has that. So, yeah, you guys are getting like diamond in the rough version me. What else have I got that's cool? Oh, I got some sonic screwdrivers. You guys want to see my sonic screwdrivers? Because I'm a Whovian. Let's see. We'll talk sonic screwdrivers. I got this one. This is the Masters. This is the Masters sonic screwdriver. But this one, though, this is my favorite, and it was a birthday present. I just fixed the problem. See? Oh, kilobytes per second. Okay, not frames per second. Kilobytes per second. Yes. Here, I just fixed it. I just fixed it all. Plus, it's a pen. See? It's a pen. And it's got a lid. And the cool is it writes in invisible ink. And I also have like a regular tip pen. See? But it writes in invisible ink, and then you can use the sonic screwdriver to show up. You know? To show up what you wrote, which is pretty cool. But yeah, when I was a high school teacher, if somebody just was acting up, I would pull out my sonic screwdriver and be like, and they'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm fixing you. I'm fixing you right now. And then they're like, I don't understand what you're doing. So. Oh, the Whovians got it. So that was, a special thing with me and the other Whovians. But yes, I have cool stuff. I have some cool stuff. Lame question, are sonic screwdrivers possible? I think so. I don't know. I don't think that sonic screwdrivers can necessarily unlock locks. I don't think that's the case, like hardware type of stuff in that regard, but I think you might be able to manipulate some things with certain sonic wavelengths, perhaps. Maybe, well, we know we can transfer energy just from our brain waves and take that and translate it to movement as far as instructions. So I can see why not, perhaps. It depends on what we want it to do. So, I suppose it's not a lame question. That's a fun question. I did do an episode on the science of sci-fi. I really should go back and maybe redo that one next, because we did talk about things that were possible. Primarily warp drive. We talked about warp drive, and I talked about the movies that I felt were the most scientifically accurate, and then the films that were just pretending to be science. So that kind of just... filmmakers should avoid using the term, this is a science-based film, and you know, and you're like, yeah, no. Prometheus is one of the worst. It's one of the worst. I don't know if they just found the dumbest scientists on the planet and just decided to put them on a ship for like $1 trillion of a mission, and just, it was, yeah. Prometheus is kind of like the Highlander 2 film. We just don't talk about it. So let me see. I'm closing out my PowerPoint and seeing. Okay, so my kilobytes per second are around 1848. For when Boolean Tor was talking. So my kilobytes per second are around that. I don't know how to make that faster. And I don't know if making that faster is a good idea either. See, I'm still kind of new to this, so I'm sorting out a lot of things in my head, trying to just kind of process that. OBS has been a bit buggy for me in the past, but I recently updated it. So I'm still working a bit with the settings available now and stuff. I've avoided updating it for probably a month because I finally got it working, and I was scared it didn't work. So there's that. It recommends 800 for video. Yes, it does. It does recommend 800. And Periscope is screaming at me right now saying that it's too fast, but YouTube says it's fine. So I'm afraid if I downgrade it, that Periscope is just going to be awful in general, but that might be part of the reason why there's a lag in 96 for audio. I've tried to set that. Let me see what it's at currently. Settings. Audio. Yeah. I'm not showing. Okay, output. What do I have for audio? Oh, I didn't. Yeah, the audio is a problem. Streaming output. Bitrate. Hello, Quantum John, who hopped on Periscope. Because I've got it's okay. All right. What I may do is toy with this a bit, and I might do a couple other live streams. Kilobytes per second. Let me see, where can I fix that? Under settings, output, streaming. Yes, I see where it is. You can hear me fine? Fantastic. So that's good. Yeah, I see the problem there. All right. All right, so we know that this particular setup works for the most part. All right, we got that. what I may do, it works for YouTube, but then it's like Periscope is really behind, and it's probably due to the frames per second. Alright. Alright. I'm going to hop off for a minute. I'm going to hop off for a minute, and then I'm going to start up again. It says restream.io/chat has an app to grab chats for different sources. Oh, I'm glad you'll be able to watch live from now on. What I'm going to do is after I pop off of here, I'm going to try to get together a thing. I am going to try to stream live tomorrow. I have a lunch thing that I have to go to with friends of mine, very close-knit group of people. So I'm going to try to stream live in the morning before I go. And I'm going to put the show together today. It'll be... I'll have to do it at 10 a.m. Central. I'll have to do it 10 a.m. Central, and then I'll have to like hightail it out and go to dinner with my friends for Thanksgiving. So where's the audio in OBS? I found I found where I can do the audio. It's under settings. And you look in output. If you go to advanced mode, you can click on here. I'll show you. I'll just show you this way. How about that? Let me do overlay. Oh wait, hold on. Let me do overlay and then I'll see. All right, now you can see my little Doctor Who in the background. All right, so settings. I'll go to settings on here, and then I get this window popped up. This is what it looks like. And then what I can do is go to, there's stream, there's output. You go to output, and once you get to output, you'll have an option for audio. After there's streaming, there's recording. So what I need to do is I need to fix my bit rate because I have it at X264 encoder. I tried the automatic encoder and everything was weird. Well, you just have a good day. Look forward to your next stream. I'll try to catch it live, but if not, you'll help me do my dishes. If not. Okay. Well, I'll simultaneously broadcast tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central. But before I do that, I'll probably have one more test to ensure that it's good for both. Have I considered hotkeys to switch scenes? Yes, I have. And I've used them for that. So what I need to do is set up the audio for advanced. I can't, I guess, can I do that right now? I guess I can. Let's try bitrate. Let's try 800 and see what happens. 800. Recording. Doesn't matter. Audio, it's not going to let me change right now. Apply. Okay. Let's see what happens now. It's gone up to like 1200. Now we're at 950. 962. Let's see if this makes it a bit more consistent. I'm curious how this does. Solo. No, I don't want to pull up my budget. So I've switched it to 800 and we'll see how this works, if this is any better. And let's see if Periscope can catch up. I don't know if Periscope will catch up or not. So I'm sorry, I'm sniffling a lot and I'm not in like super manners mode, so you'll have to forgive me for that. So 800 kilobytes per second. I wonder if that's going to be better for YouTube as well as Periscope, or if it's going to be an issue. I think it might be okay. And it seems like it's all right. Oh, so that's my hair up. I guess I could take my hair down. It's kind of wild. And I don't even have a hair thing. For those of you who are curious, I have so much hair and the texture is so thick that I can legitimately, look, it's just like I've got all this hair. I don't even have to have like a hair tie. Because my hair is so thick that I can honestly just put it up and tie it in a knot by itself. So that's pretty funny. I've always been able to do that, so I might have to go a little less to clear the warning, but the picture quality kind of fades with this. So what do you think? Is the picture quality worse, or is it better, or I don't know. So yeah. Gosh, this is weird because I can see myself like recording at one rate, and then I have the YouTube, which is a few seconds delay, and then I have the Periscope, which is like really behind right now. But hopefully, if it's less, then you don't mind it, not 720, but that's fine. Okay, this is kilobytes per second. I'm wondering if I can alter, let me see. Let me go back to settings and see if I can fix output streaming video. I can't change the resolution yet. I can't change the resolution while it's on. Streaming 800. Recording is always going to be a bit better. Keyframe interval 2. I'm at very little, and it's at super fast, very fast. Let me change that to faster and see what happens. Higher equals less CPU. Let's see if that does anything. See if that helps. Because I don't know. It's at 240 for you. I'm sorry. I don't think this is like a heavy drain on my computer. It's not, because I usually am not. It's at 43% instead of 30 something. I wonder if I can change the frames per second and see if that helps. I don't need that screen up right now. Let's see. Let's see what happens when I change the frames per second. Output. Video. I can't right now. It's at 20. All right. So what I'll do is I will reset and change the stuff. As long as we can hear you, it's fine. No setting can hide the awesomeness that comes from you and other YouTubers. Don't worry. Well, that's sweet. Periscope is still behind. I still have my hair up on Periscope. That's just to show you how far behind it is. All right. So, how is this now? It's now at... I put it from... It's not as blurry, is it? It's not as blurry. So, and I'm looking at it on a bigger screen. All right. It's not so bad. Now I'm going to try. We're going to toy around with this a bit. Because, you know, science. Yeah? All right. So output. Now we're going to try fast instead of faster and see how that goes. Yes. Because I don't mind my computer working harder if we get better, like, you know, picture and stuff. So it allows the image to be processed a bit more, you know. See how that goes? Wow, I have like the natural like blurred effect going on the YouTube. It's like makes me look like about 10 years younger. There are worse things, you know. There are worse things. You feel sorry for the Periscope people. We get to hear you first. Oh, goodness. All right, so I've changed it to just fast, and it looks like that works okay. That looks all right. So if you're curious why I'm looking the other way, I've put it on the larger screen. I have my laptop, and then I have a separate monitor that I use that helps me be able to do like my slides. So I can have like my slide over here, and then I can be like, okay, and I can be facing the camera and talking. So it's like my own little speech monitor. Yeah, as you do. Oh God, Periscope is still behind. So that seems to work okay. So that particular frame rate's okay. I'll have to see. It should be fine for Periscope, since Periscope is so behind anyway. And I've changed the frame rate, but I don't know if it's probably not going to catch up for a while. At least on this one, but when I do my second test stream, it should be fine. I'm so excited, guys! I'm so excited. I can stream to both now. So that works. You guys want to see some of my old? Okay, so what I used to do. This should be fun for you guys. Look. Okay, so what I used to do on my phone, because this is before I figured out we could stream from my laptop, I used to do these things. So this is, I would talk about a thing, and I talked about the body ecosystem. And so I would be like, what's an ecosystem? I'll be like that. And then I would like write stuff out by hand. Myth, 10 times more bacteria than human cells. I still have a lot of my old little cards. Not as far behind as I think. Okay, thank you, Booleanator. So it must be my app that's slow then. So, all right, on Periscope. So if you're curious, I used to do this all the time. You remember holding up papers? Do you ever watch or listen to This Week in Science? I haven't. You know, for a person that's a science communicator, I'm pretty behind on some of the other science communicators, and I need to fix that. Yeah. Yep, and even more so if you want to. Yeah, so, you know, and I was like, most bacteria is this. So before I started doing my awesome PowerPoint things with my animated GIF images and stuff, those of you from like back in April and March and stuff, when I started doing these streams, will recognize my little papers that I used to do. And then I also would do like this one. I would print out my title pages, and I would be like, the science of the body ecosystem, and I'd be like, there's my likeness right there. I drew my own pictures, you know, for science. So it's like, woo! So this is your fourth video you watch of mine. You have 5 screens during a stream. Gonna go for it. Oh my gosh. I have 2. I don't have 5. Not at all. Okay, that's funny. But yeah, that's pretty funny. Skin. Loads of bacteria. Diversity, and that is okay. You need bacterial diversity. So yeah, it's just got to be my app then. So, okay, so somebody mentioned that the Restream, there's a particular chat app that I can get to put everybody's chats together. So I need to find that. That'll be easier than trying to read my app and read YouTube. And I imagine people are probably on Twitter too. Now I get to be lazy and do it on a computer now. You would be surprised. I don't know if you've ever actually looked at the end of my slides at all. I'm going to open up a new window on here. I'm going to go to my website and show you guys my website. So all of my slides I put on there, and I like being able to put my slides on my website because people can go back and look at the work that I've done and kind of see these sources. Oh, I've lost streaming. It went a bit slower because I've pulled up my website. Computer just lets you do more. All right. I'm going to go to, let me go. Oh God, big monitor. So here's my website. There we go. Whoops. I don't think I've pulled it up here before. So that's my website. So if you've never, ever seen my website, you can go there. I've been working on it more so lately. But you just had to tease me. Yeah. But you can go on my website and kind of see. Let's go to the educator resources. I'm going to click on that. It's less heavy, but since I'm running the website now and all this other stuff, it's cutting into the bandwidth. Yeah, I probably need to up it. I might call them today and do that. So if you've never been on my website, I'll just give you a little bit of a stroll through it. This is me in my Wonder Woman gear, because educators are superheroes, in my opinion. So if you haven't, you can go there. All of my podcast slides are here. I haven't put 7 up yet because episode 7 is not live for the public yet, just on my Patreon account. But you can access all of them right here, and you can check and see how many sources I have. I take a lot of time, and I want to make sure my sources are reputable, substantial, and relevant to what I'm talking about, so at least people can go. But I have all of that available for people. And if you haven't checked this out, I have a new section on here called quizzes. And on Twitter, I have Science Trivia Tuesday. And usually I would just post a series of polls associated, you know, the poll feature, and I would just ask questions. Now I'm moving them to here. I'm moving them here because what I want to do, one problem I was running into is people didn't know where the answers were, and they couldn't check the answers later. And since they couldn't check the answers later, they were like, how do I know if I got this right or wrong? So since that is a big issue for individuals, I wanted to be able to fix that and be like, okay, let's fix this. Let's get you this. Excuse me. I'm not coughing as much anymore, guys. So on here, you can look, and I'm currently writing a series of quizzes that are associated with government standards for education. All right. So if you're not familiar with what the government expects kids to learn and be able to pass by the time they graduate, I'm going to do biology, chemistry, as well as physical science, and I'm going to have quizzes that are associated with each particular section. And so if you want to kind of test your knowledge, that's kind of the purpose of why I have that. Educators are superheroes. They teach us how to think for ourselves. That's awesome. Yes. So, so what I've got here, I've got this first one is on inquiry, mathematics, technology, and engineering associated with biology. The second quiz is on cells. The third will be interdependence. And I believe the fourth will be biodiversity and change. So it's going to have to deal with evolution and that sort of thing. And then I'm going back and pulling all my old Science Trivia Tuesday quizzes and putting them on here. And I have leaderboards and achievements you can unlock and download. So once you take a quiz, you unlock an achievement. And so I'm making individual little achievement things that are JPEG images that have your name in there. I think it's actually it's PDF file, but it has your name in there and when you took your quiz and what your score was. And so you can go back and retake them and learn a bit more. And it lets you know what it is that you've missed. And so you can kind of, whatever you feel like you want to develop in your particular weaknesses associated with a particular topic or some content, you can kind of go and say, oh, wow, man, I really don't know as much about this thing here. And then you can kind of study up a bit and learn. So it's kind of fun. So I like that. So you can go there and try my quizzes. I have leaderboards. Let's see who's currently on the leaderboard for, let's see if anybody took the brain quiz. I don't know if anybody took the brain quiz. So I'm pulling that up. Hello, Quantum John, who popped right back on Periscope. My app is running a bit behind still on Periscope, but hopefully that won't be so bad. So I've got the brain quiz up. I don't know if anybody has tried it yet. Let's see. I have two people who've done the brain quiz so far. Graham and Gian, it looks like, or I hope that's how you say that. So they're in my leaderboard right now. And you can download a certificate. I hesitate to take this quiz to show you a bit, what the achievement unlocked is, because I don't want to knock people off the leaderboard, because I don't think that's fair, because I wrote the quiz. Conceivably I could be like number one on all the leaderboards, but then that's not fair. So if you want to, you can go there and check that out. And I have various other things. My podcast, I update my podcasts here. So if ever you're having a hard time figuring out how to find my podcast, you can always just go to my website. All of my episodes are here, available for the Gen Pop. You came from a religion that taught you to make things fit what you have to believe. Science saved you from that. Well, science is wonderful with the things involving experimenting with instruments and stuff like that. So it allows us to kind of grow in that regard. So if you're wanting to know about my podcast, you can go there. I also have my shows. I link my YouTube videos onto my webpage. So this allows you an opportunity to kind of go through and see what other videos I have. If you don't, if you don't want to have to go to my channel, I do have those there, and then it links to my YouTube channel and Periscope. So that is fun. That is fun. And that gives you, like I said, an opportunity to kind of go and play around. with the different things that I have. Ah, you'll go. Well, it's almost 1 p.m. where I am at, so I'm probably going to hop off of here now, play around with stuff, see if I can get something together for a show tomorrow. I'm probably going to go back to one of my older episodes because I haven't been doing my polls. Normally I do a poll about what people want me to talk about, but I've wanted to kind of go back and redo some old episodes in the newer format, which allows people to be able to kind of redigest information and have better, I guess, a better experience with the videos. So that'll help with that. So there you go. But this has been fun. I'm glad I got this to work, even though it's an impromptu stream. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I wasn't expecting to go live. Oh, you prefer a YouTuber to do that? Well, I like, my podcast is kind of like what I do on the audio podcast side of things. I'm glad it works too. Thank you. Feel more honest when it is what you want. Well, the purpose of these videos is to educate people on what they want to learn. That's kind of what my whole gig is. But on my audio podcast, I talk about what it is that I want to talk about. Like the 8th episode I just recorded yesterday was with a friend of mine named Maddie. She's trans and she's working on her PhD in chemistry. And so I wanted to give her an opportunity to kind of talk about her experience in regards to academia and why she's pursuing a PhD and what she wants to do to give back. And so we also talk a bit about the male brain, female brain myth, and what science actually has shown us. And then we also talk about gender versus genetic sex. And then we talk a bit about genetics. And then we kind of talk about her, like I said, her experiences being a trans individual and extremely underrepresented in the sciences. And so I think it's a pretty cool particular episode about that. So my audio podcast tends to be like, yes, I do take requests on what to talk about in those, but at the same time, that's a bit more of what I think about a particular thing, and from a scientist perspective. And those tend to be around 35-40 minutes in length for my audio podcasts. The one, episode 7, was about the importance of free speech in the scientific community, and that scientists need a space to be able to discuss openly and criticize anything really that affects people or the planet or anything like that. They need essentially a place to go and openly criticize. And I talk about a lethal thing that happened in the scientific community in regards to a particular doctor who was kind of given free rein over utilizing a scaffolding type of plastic thing where he was trying to regrow somebody's trachea. And so it ended up killing people. But they allowed him to kind of skip over, and there were critics that were criticizing him that were almost ruined in their careers over that, because it turns out the guy was a liar. And so very well regarded people in the community, in the scientific community, backed him up, and they ended up losing their jobs over it. So I talk about the difference between what happens in regards to the scientific community of scientists being made out to be pariahs for criticizing somebody that's liked, and how that needs to completely go away. Because if your work is good, it will hold up to any criticism. And it's kind of my opinion that we should hold that same standard to anybody that's in a place of power. They need to be able to be criticized, not get their feelings hurt, and understand that if your work is good, it's going to hold up to criticism. That's what scientists are trained to do. We're trained to question. So in episode 7, I talk about free speech. episode 8, which I just recorded yesterday and is on Patreon now for early access for my patrons. That particular episode talks about trans individuals. The one prior to 7, I think, was media responsibility in science. And then I also talk about pseudoscience. I also talk about how to read a scientific paper, talk about the scientific method. So that's more of diving into science as applied to society and the world and my perspectives as a scientist. And then I also like to talk about things that other people are concerned about and what they would like to learn too. So I dive a bit more into that. That's a bit more me, free reign. My YouTube channel and my Twitter and my video streams are more about me finding topics that people want to learn about and then explaining it in a highly accessible way for them. That makes me happy. And so that will have my own creative spin in regards to that. So you agree free space is a heavy need for science. That's sad to hear that. Don't like the whole losing job just for criticism. Your work should stand no matter who you are. Yes, I agree with that. So people who are nearly ruined for criticizing another person, even if they're well liked. I mean, this is a thing that happens. You can be blacklisted in the scientific community, especially if somebody doesn't like you. And we see that also with sexism. I might address that in an audio podcast to where I talk about the inherent sexism that happens in academia. How some women, I know a woman who was left off of a paper that was recently published and she did most of the work. I don't know how that's going to go about. I don't know. I mean, I know this woman and I know she's a hard worker and she's brilliant. She's a graduate student and her mentors got published. She did 90% of the work and they left her off. That's what I've been told recently. I haven't gotten all of the details about it, but sexism is real and it happens. And what do you do in that situation? If you're a graduate student and your research mentors that are your professors publish a paper and leave you off of it, what are your avenues to go without getting kicked out of a program? So you look at that, and sometimes I think we don't have a lot of women in academia because of that kind of stuff that they are forced to go through. Because if you speak up and they kick you out of a program and you try to get into another one, you know, they're like, why'd you leave this one? What's your answer for that? So you got to kind of look at that too. This is something that's real and happens to women in all kinds of different disciplines, not just science. But yeah, I mean, but that's what I've heard. I can't confirm that because I haven't talked to the woman directly. So I will say that is what I've heard from a reliable source, but I haven't talked to that particular individual directly. So I don't know 100% of her story. But it's plausible, if I'm honest. It's plausible. So we have to kind of think about that in that regard. You think every idea should be challenged. In fact, ideas shouldn't be advanced if it's not challenged. And if you leave anyone off for any reason, that should be a career killer. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. But there's a lot of issues in academia that we see. And like I said, it's not just in science, it's across disciplines. But in regards to that woman's story, I've heard from a reliable source, but I haven't talked to her directly. So I cannot confirm that. But like I said, it sounds pretty plausible. And I would think that that happens more often than people realize. So that's a bit upsetting. So my audio podcasts focus a lot on that. And my live stream videos tend to focus more on what the general population wants to learn about. And then I put together a presentation that they can use over and over again, and stuff like that. I'm starting to start up my channel to debunk pseudoscience with a layperson friend of mine. I'm an engineer and we're starting with flat earth. That'll be fun. I don't debate flat earthers anymore. I don't debate them anymore because there's no point. I did the video cast here about the science of flat earthers being as why they think that way. So if you haven't watched that video, I only cough a couple times. But that was one of my older episodes that I redid, and I was able to use more visual aids and talk a bit more about what could be wrong with, or not necessarily, I won't say what could be wrong with them, that's not fair, why they think a particular way, and why they find comfort in believing that. Things like that do need to be confirmed, yes. So about the friend of mine who... well, not the friend of mine, but is a friend of mine who's a reliable source that told me about this. But I do need to confirm that. But I'm just going to be honest. It sounds plausible. But yeah, the flat earth thing. I don't debate with flat earthers at all anymore. I just send them links to where they can get help from psychologists. And since I started doing that, they kind of just don't talk to me. So... They kind of just don't talk to me now, which is kind of funny. I do find it funny. So I can't complain. You're looking for someone who is willing to take on the Thunderbolt Project, aka Electric Universe. I haven't heard about that. See, you guys find out things that I haven't heard about yet. And they're like, hey, what do you know about this? And they're like, ooh, let me go check that out. So that's always kind of fun for me in regards to interactive shows like this. And also when I'm on Twitter, people will send me stuff. They'll be like, have you seen this? And I'm all like, oh no, I haven't. That's so cool. So I learn stuff too. And it's always so weird still seeing myself on streaming. So that's just kind of strange. But I don't know. God, it's now 1:10. I think I probably have to go soon. I don't know how long I've been on here. So I don't know how long I've been on this particular episode. It looks like an hour and 18 minutes. Good gravy. We've been sorting out things for an hour and 18 minutes now. Let me pull up settings really quick. I'm going to see how it looks if I go to output, streaming video, output. I'm going to drop it to medium and see what happens. I'm going to drop it to medium and see how that affects that. And we're like, you have a good friend that is a true believer. Oh, end it when you need to. Yeah. I'm going to test this one more time to see how that, if this affects my PC in any kind of way. I've still got it at 44.3%. It's still, yeah, it's at medium now, and medium seems to work okay. It's not crashing my computer. I might increase the frames per second and see if that does better. But I will stream again today a little bit later once I play around with the settings a bit. And the video has been really good for the last 20 minutes. Good. So, good news for that. All right. Well, I'm going to hop off of here and get me something to drink as my coffee is almost gone. And I'm glad the video has been pretty good for the last 20 minutes. I'm going to look at it on the big screen over here. I'm not as choppy. And I'll be able to talk a bit better. Yeah, that's okay. And it's not killing my computer right now. See you, Mel. Okay. Well, yep. So I'll pop back on a bit later. And maybe I'll have a little funny thing to do. Maybe I'll sing a song. I actually can sing. So I'll find maybe something fun to sing for you guys to say. I'm thankful for you being here and that we get to do cool stuff like this together. And this is fun for me. And so, thank you for hopping aboard on this test stream. I'll have a test stream again, probably in a few hours or so. And hopefully by then I won't be so scraggly looking because I wasn't expecting to be in my jammies and have this happen, you know, as you do on accidental test streams that are live. But there you go. You enjoyed this a lot. I'm glad. Have to actually watch for it. Okay. All right. Well, I will see you guys later. This was a lot of fun. Have a super fantabulous day. And I'm going to pop back on here probably in a few hours. This week in science. I'll check it out. They might have me on as a guest. Okay. All right. Shoot me a link. If you're on Twitter, shoot me a link there for This Week in Science so I can see it. And I will see you guys later. Just call it Down to Earth, Mel. Bye. Okay. I've